I was telling Lee 2 weeks ago I went to Miami, and as I'm walking the second show Friday night, a girl makes sure she comes to the thing. She's sitting at a table right where I was walking out, and this girl turns around and comes right to the thing and grabs me, and she looks at me, and I look at her, and she kind of looks familiar, but not really. And I look at her, and she goes, "Hi, meet my husband." And she goes, "Joey and I were friends years ago. We went out for a drink one night after a comedy show," and she looked at me and winked.
Oh.
And I looked at it, and it was like, I felt like somebody in The Devil's Advocate.
Yeah.
See that movie when
right.
whenever the chick would, what's her name? Charlize Theron would talk they turn into a devil, and she'd go, that was me that night when I saw. And I remember the night where this chick took me home with the chubby chick. This chick was banging fake tits. She said she dated David Lee Roth. She had pictures of David Lee Roth. I mean, the bitch was hot. And we went back to the house. I had dead dick. I couldn't come. My dick was small. It was embarrassing. But then, I never forget that these two girls in front of me, I'm sitting there watching Conan O'Brien, making believe, like I'm not even seeing this. At this point, that's the other thing. At that point, when I would do coke, pussy would be second. I was like those mice in the fucking cage.
Yeah.
That, they're trying to feed them. They're trying to give them like fucking cheeseburger and fingers and shit, but they rather snort the coke. That was me. And I remember them two chicks had a big black dildo, like a big black with two heads on it, and one would fuck to one side and one would fuck the... And they're doing this in front of me, moaning, banging this thing. And I'm just sitting there watching Conan O'Brien like they're not even in the fucking room. Yeah, and then it just turned into a nightmare. The chubby chick wanted me to fuck. I had dead dick. I tried to whack off. I ended up eating the fucking good-looking one. The chubby chick left. The good-looking one had a period. It was just a night from hell. But then me and the good-looking one hooked up the rest of the week.
Yeah.
And then on Sunday, she goes, "There's something I got to tell you. I'm getting married in 2 weeks.
Wow.
So today, when you go home, don't ever call my number again."
No
and it was
shit.
fucking traumatizing. I wasn't in love with her, but I couldn't believe that. I'm a Catholic. I couldn't believe this chick was fucking going to get married.
Yeah.
And we're fucking.
Did you feel like you should maybe do her husband a favor and go tell him that he's about to step in shit?
Fuck no. He probably knew because he had
to know.
He was some type of weatherman, so he got up early. So they had a deal. They wouldn't see each other during the week.
Yeah.
So she was out. Her father owned like some Audi import dealership or something. Yeah. This girl had a Mercedes, an Audi. She lived on the top floor of a building. She had coke. She had a rack with just Dom Perignon bottles in the fucking rack.
Shit.
She was spoiled rich. She was spoiled rotten. So she would just go out every night and do blow. I remember she paid for the blow that night.
This was a high-profile train wreck.
But it's weird how I sit back and go, I'm not even a good-looking guy. I had no money that night.
Oh, Joey.
I was a feature act. I was probably making $550 a week. $300 of it went to a plane ticket.
Yeah.
$200 went to a plane ticket. They didn't give you a plane ticket back then as a feature act. I had no money. I had no Mercedes. I had no clothes. I was just living on the road week to week. And this girl took me home, and for a week we went to eat at all the fine restaurants. She picked up every fucking tab. And she was younger than I was. She was maybe, if I was 35 maybe, she was probably 27.
Yeah.
It was embarrassing.
What town was this?
This is Miami, the only town shit like that happens.
Yeah.
It happens other places, but it's just amazing that you could be... when I left New Jersey, I was a criminal, but I wasn't a sex deviant. So I didn't know about all these sex things. Like, I really didn't know. I thought people just fucked and ate ass. Then I find out people get tied up and they put balls in their mouths and, whip them and throw darts at them. I didn't know that. That girl I dated one day said to me, "I don't know if you know this, a guy put me through college." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And she goes, "I used to have a sugar daddy for 6 years. He still sends me money."
6 years?
He put her through school.
Damn.
And he would put her to school, pay her bills, college, everything. And once a week, she'd have to come over there and just go fucking off on his dick.
Yeah.
He would bring other hookers over, and his whole thing was to see her eat another hooker, and him would jerk off on her back. I mean...
Yeah.
And she would tell me these stories, and my head would want to fuck, my soul would want to cry.
Yeah.
I'd never been involved in nothing like that. I never 2-on-1. I did one threesome.
Yeah.
I think I'd be too embarrassed to do a fucking threesome.
Yeah.
How about you, Lee? You ever do a threesome, you dirty bitch?
No, but I can imagine how a good-looking girl would do that. If a guy offered you to pay, especially now when college is going to cost you $200,000, not on top of
Mariah
rent.
Carey did that.
Oh no, I got a buddy he's got a lot of billionaire friends, and they've all got chicks set up, and one in Miami, one in New York, one in L.A. And they come to town and they buy him an apartment, they release him a car, they throw him some money every month, and they come to town And it's like they drop whatever they're doing.
That's it.
That's the
There's
deal.
no drama.
You're mine for that week. Could be 2 weeks. And then I may not see you again for 6 months. But for that time, you're going to be my dirty dog. And you're going to walk. Not only that, you're going to walk into restaurants. The money I gave you means you got some decent clothes to wear so that I can show up with you. And that's their deal.
That's the deal.
And it goes on, like you said, 6 years. You know, he says these things go on for 10 years. Women that are consistently living a life where they build into it that they're a prostitute for a little bit of time. And the rest of the time, they're going to college or they're...
that's her right there.
Was he get a neighbor?
I don't know. We never do them at this time, so.
And so, yeah, and the rest of the time they're married, or maybe they've got a startup business they're trying to get going. But if this guy's good for, $50,000 a year and taking care of all their expenses, they're like, well, I think it's everybody's got a relationship to their body. Like women either feel protective of their body and it's like their soul and their body are one, or it's like my body is this thing that I don't really care about. If a guy wants to get something from it, he can, and I'll gladly take money for it. And like porn stars, like they don't have any attachment to their bodies. They can let the things happen to their bodies and it doesn't affect them. So then you get the Irish girls who you just look at them and they got to go confess.
I'm an Irish girl type of guy.
Yeah.
Since day one. I ended up with an Irish girl. I got an Irish daughter.
Right.
I love Irish girls. That's my all-time fucking favorite.
I got an Irish one. Well, mine's half Irish, half Jewish.
I love it. Oh, there you go, Lee.
Huh?
You got a stake in this. You got a dog in
dated.
this wall.
I can't date. I mean, I'm surprised you dated an Irish woman because I can't date Jews because
You're full Irish?
100%.
it's too much. It reminds me too much of my mother,
Yeah.
so I just can't. I mean, is that why you didn't date like when I started dating a Hispanic girl? You told me like right off, like they're crazy. Like I won't even do
crazy.
it.
They're crazy. But I'm crazy. That's why it didn't work for me.
Yeah.
A Hispanic girl, for it to really work, like I see a lot of Jews go for Hispanic chicks, and I see when a white guy dates a Hispanic chick, it tames them, it balances them off.
Yeah.
When you have two fire people, it doesn't work.
All right.
I went through that one time with a Spanish girl, and that was two Spanish girls, one for about a year and one for like 8 months, and it was horrible. I was always in an argument. I was always tensed up when I walked in the door. I don't want to be tensed up. I don't want to be tensed up at all when I walk in my house. In the back of your mind, you always think your first blowjob is going to be this fucking thing with angels and birds are getting shot out into the sky.
Yeah.
You hear voices. That never did. That shit never happened for me. It was like.
My first blowjob was just the opposite. It was this
tremendous.
girl, Linda, and she was a great girl, but she'd been around town. She was confident, big tits. She called them pride and joy, and she said to me for my 16th birthday, she was going to give me the best blowjob I would ever have in my life. And she came over to my house. Parents were out. It's April. It's a nice spring day. I remember the windows open, little breeze coming in. Linda comes up to my room. And she takes my pants down herself. I try to take them off. She stops me. She takes them off. Then she takes the underwear off. And then she works it. And I mean, I didn't know that a blowjob included ball licking, that was an option. I didn't know that it circled. I didn't know that there was 2 hands could be cranked on the base, a decent size. And she worked it, and there was eye contact. There was intent eye contact throughout. Checking in. She wanted to know how I was doing every second.
I'd be so fucking embarrassed.
Oh, it was unbelievable. Post-coital, I cuddled with her after the blowjob. And I feel for you, Joey, that had to be your first blowjob.
I got to ask you something. Where is she today?
She has kids, and she lives a couple towns over from where we grew up. I think she did well. I think she married well.
You still keep in touch with her from time to time? Send her a little Facebook. It's always good to hit one of those freaks on Facebook and give them like a little reminder.
Yeah.
I have one I'm working now, not because I want to sleep with her, not just because she was such a savage and such an animal.
Yeah.
And now she's got a kid, but I want to remind her that she's such an animal. So I post this New Jersey. First of all, the last time I had seen this girl was when Doug Flutie threw the touchdown.
Okay.
And it was just a horror show. I robbed Louis Donato. At this time, she was Louis' boss. She was Louis' nanny. And I saw her at Corky's, and this bitch had a body. they called her Lori Jack because they said, in those days, she's got the Jack.
Yeah.
Everybody said she had something. AC/DC wrote a song called "She's Got the Jack," which implied she had like AIDS. Not AIDS at that time, but like
Gonorrhea,
chlamydia, and all that. No, there wasn't even chlamydia in '79. In '79, it was just syphilis, and something came out of your dick.
Yeah.
That's it. All of a sudden, over the years, they've added all these dimensions and names to throw you off.
Yeah.
It all started with funk. The head of your dick swells up. Blood comes out. You know what I'm saying? Your nuts are purple.
You go crazy.
Yeah, you
the
go
good ones, you go crazy.
Oh, my God. You sit there and go, what did I fuck? What type of animal did I fuck? What planet is she from?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you something, knock on wood. I can be honest on this show. It never happened to me. I just had
Shut up.
I had crabs. I've gotten
That's
crabs.
nothing.
And then I was fucking around with these dirty college girls. When you mess around with college girls, bro, you're always going to get something.
You're
Foot
fucking the
fungus.
whole campus.
Yeah, you get foot fungus, something. I had this little leakage coming out of my helmet.
Yeah.
And then I noticed that both of them, like when I was sleeping with one for a while, and then she moved, and I started sleeping with the other one, both of them had this like white leakage from their little monkey. It was chlamydia, but I wasn't going to embarrass them and tell them. I just kept wiped it and kept eating that ass. You know me. This got nothing to do with Uncle Joey.
It's like finding a hair in your hamburger.
Yeah,
You
who
get
gives
rid
a
of it,
fuck?
keep eating that shit.
People send the hamburger back.
Like, come on.
Before you send them hamburger back, think back of how many assholes you licked. Right or wrong? You ever get these motherfuckers? Oh, there was hair in my food. Come here, let me talk to you, my son. You take the hair out and you proceed. You're going to send the sandwich back, and now they're going to spit in it. Because that's what you do when somebody says, there's a hair in your food. Really?
Hey, what's wrong with hair?
Well, let me put a fucking Coke snot from Tuesday in that motherfucker. Wait till you crunch into that and think it's a grape.
I got a hemorrhoid.
Oh,
I'm going to rub the hemorrhoid on your French fry.
Not even. You squeeze the hemorrhoid, you get that hemorrhoid juice. It's like that black fucking tar. It comes out. They think it's remoulade sauce. These fucking jerk fucking Gentiles. But that shit drives me crazy when people act like that. Oh, well, they'll stop.
Yeah.
They fucking assholes.
No, and I don't even like the guy that has them pour half a glass of wine. Pour the fucking wine and drink the wine. What are you going to drink? You're going to take a sip from half a glass and swish it around and then say no?
I'm sorry about
Caesar wants you to bring forth another glass of wine. Fuck you.
I got to tell you guys.
You know what? My mom bought some wine this week. She's out for Thanksgiving. She went to Ralph's and bought some wine. And next night I come home and I go, Mom, what do you get 5 ice cubes in your wine for? She goes, it's shit wine. And it's like, buy another fucking bottle of wine. She's like, nah, I'll finish this one.
Club W. But here's the crazy thing. That culture never was sold to me. Okay, Lee, you're a very young man. My man Irish is younger than I am. I came from a culture, family affair, courtship of Eddie's father, room 222, combat, all those shows when men had a conversation in the 60s and 70s, Lee, in the late 60s and 70s on television, on CBS, NBC, or ABC, when two men had a conversation, there was always a bottle on the table with no label on it. There was a bucket with ice cubes with a prong. And as soon as two men walked in a room, what are we going to do about the Diaz situation? Well, the first thing I did in the late 60s and early 70s was to turn around, okay, without even eye contact, without offering. You didn't even offer in this time in the United States. You turned around, you took 2 glasses, you put an ice cube in each, right on TV while the camera was rolling. And he was saying his stupid fucking lines about how the world's going to end and if the Russians don't go out to the fallout shelter. And they'd always pour from a bottle, which you assume was whiskey, correct?
Always.
Do you remember this as a young man?
Yeah.
Something brown.
And they
Something
gave
caramel.
it to everybody, and everybody, they didn't go, cheers or salud. Or, They just drank it, and they discussed their situation. And throughout the show, drinking was always acceptable.
Yeah.
As a young man, for me, that made my dick hard. My mom had a bar. You know what? Next week when I go down there, I'm going to get a fucking drink with an ice cube.
How old are you at this point?
5, 6. You know me, dog.
Yeah.
It looks cool. I understand.
It looks fucking tremendously cool.
Yeah.
What kid doesn't look at that and go, I can't wait to be fucking 18 to do that, to drink a fucking shot.
I remember being a kid. We had these shrimp cocktail glasses. My parents would buy a 6-pack of shrimp cocktails from
Oh my
from
God.
the A&P, right? Remember those?
And then you wash them out,
screw
you
off the
kept the
top. Yeah,
glasses.
you wash them out and you keep the glasses. And it's about the size of a Scotch glass. So I remember me and my brothers we put one ice cube in, we put some Coca-Cola on top, and we'd walk around the house like we were in fucking Mad Men.
No shit.
Sipping it, and then we'd roll up pieces of paper. My dad smoked 3.5 packs a day. We'd roll up pieces of paper, we'd dangle them out of our mouths, and we'd drink Coke with an ice cube.
There you go, America. So you were, I don't know, it was like alcoholism was acceptable. Okay, whatever. Now my mom had a bar. I got drunk one time, shit my pants. They found me in the closet. That was the end of my alcoholism career. Did you know that?
That was it?
That was it. My mom had a thing. Before she'd go to bed, she'd do a little shot of wine. I scoped the fucking red Italian wine. Once she fell asleep, I drank the whole bottle of wine. My mom got up. Jose Antonio. She dialed 911. The cops came. They found me in the closet, puked, shit all over the place.
How old were you?
4, 5. That was the end of my alcoholism career, right? That's it. No more.
Shit your pants.
Everything. There was shit on my feet. They had to put me in the tub. I slept for 2 days. You know, it's always been a fucking disaster.
And that was it? And you never drank since?
No, I've tried. I fucking tried. I've tried. What was that movie with?
The Pound.
Okay,
Blake Lively.
that broad played it to the fucking hilt. Just a dirty Irish girl at a bar that goes out every night for a good time. I love those girls.
Yeah.
I
Just
love
blue.
those
The only
girls.
makeup is
And
just
you
some
ca- and
blue
you're
under
not,
the
and
eyes.
you're not going to fucking tell them not to go out every night.
Yeah.
That's going to stop right there because they'll knock the fuck out of you.
Mm-hmm.
You just take them home 3 nights a week and you have a great time with them. They puke. They always puke after you give them a stabbing, right? Then you got to kiss them and shit. You don't give a fuck by that point. You did what you had to do and shit. They wake up. What happened? I don't know what happened.
They wake up, you're down at the bottom of the bed, licking their dirty feet.
Oh, loving every fucking minute. Nah, I don't
Cleaning
lick
up.
toes. I don't lick toes. That's disgusting. But I like the dirty feet. But once we get in the bed, you got to wash those
You
hoofs.
know why?
I can't have those dirty hoofs on my bed.
Do
and
you
shit.
wash their feet?
I got a fun. No. What am I, Jesus?
Jesus Christ.
I'm not a
John
fun-
the Baptist.
I got a fungi toe myself. I'm walking around with duct tape on it and shit. Sometimes I get radio waves. I'm like a fucking antenna now with my little fungi fucking toe.
You gotta get those sneakers with the toes cut out of them.
Oh, this fungi toe is killing me.
Ugh.
Because like for 6 months it'll just throb at night. The fungi comes alive.
It hurts?
Yeah.
I thought it was just growing
So
like
again,
an
this
ecosystem.
weekend I go in the tub and I just sit there for like I only do it in hotels. I bring the heavy duty artillery to the hotels and shit. The industrial nail cutters.
Yeah.
And the shit you clean the fungi out.
Oh.
So I go in the tub, I soak that shit. I cut those nails and I take them and I sniff them real good.
Do you save it for after the show?
I leave them for the maid. I put a 20 right on top of them. There you go. Have a party, cocksucker. She comes in the room. She listens to the couch. There's 1,000 little fucking fungi nails everywhere. All different colors. Green, purple. They're like the gay flag.
They cut holes in the fucking
Oh,
cushions.
Jesus
so
Christ.
sharp.
Oh, my God. Sometimes I cut them and poke my wife with them. I was telling Lee, I'll just poke her. And she'll go, what the fuck is that? It's a fungi nail. Keep it up. It's like a snake tooth.
She's gonna get like an infection.
I'll
from
take,
whatever on the fungi.
I'll take this to a concert. I'll stab like 18 people. 16 will start scratching within minutes and shit. That's what I should do. Take a fungi nail out and do a show of me stabbing people with my fungi nail. Can I stab you with my fungi nail? See what
Get someone to eat
Oh,
it.
that's it. I'm going to let them grow.
And you
gonna
sell
let
it after
them
the
grow.
show.
I used to date this girl. She grew up in a cult. And one of the jobs she had to do was cut the fucking master's toenails. And I go, what do you mean? And she goes, they grew over his toe. So once a week, we'd have to go upstairs. He weighed like 500 pounds. They all had to suck his dick.
No shit.
He fucked all their moms. It's a horrible
How
story.
old was she?
14.
Oh,
yeah, she basically grew up in
motherfucker.
that fucking cult. And she still talks to her parents. I would fucking chip in with my brothers and have them hit by a truck.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? You dirty motherfuckers. You want to be freaks and move into a cult, do it on your own time. Leave me with
Yeah.
my aunt
Right.
who goes to church on Sundays. You know, you're going to take me with you to some fat fuck's house.
Yeah.
Who's going to fuck us all in the ass.
Clipping toenails.
And the father's sleeping at night while everybody's getting fucked, including his wife. Because they had 7 kids, but 3 of them belonged to the cult leader.
Oh, no shit.
But they took them with them and sold them as their own. And when you see the whole family together.
Sold them?
Like, you know, they sold them the story that they were
sold
parents. You're crazy. We're your dad. So 4 kids have a lot of teeth. And the other 3 kids are just sitting there fucking with regular fucking smiles. You know what I'm saying? And nobody's smiling. Everybody's frowning.
Yeah.
Because everybody's confused. Why does he have blonde hair? What a shame in this country.
Oh, my God, the cults. It's part of it seems appealing to me at this point, you know. To start a cult, I just need to come up with some crazy shit, you know. Like, I think I would run a good cult.
What qualifies it as a cult?
You can't leave.
Oh, okay. Oh shit, you can't. Oh no.
Yeah. No, you got to stick around. But I think that I wouldn't fuck the girls. I'd let everybody get laid, you know. And I think we'd raise some money. But I wouldn't hog it. Spread it around. Let everybody have some fun. But get some land. Build some cabins. A lot of nudity. Good music. A lot of doors.
The Doors?
The Doors.
That's what we had on tonight. L.A. Woman. What a phenomenal album.
It's a great album.
That really is a good fucking album, man.
Yeah, they produced good albums in the studio.
Let me tell you
The Doors.
something. Growing up, that album irritated me to no end. My mom wouldn't listen to the whole album. She just listened to L.A. Woman over and over and over. L.A. Woman is how I learned how to speak English in a way.
Oh, yeah?
Because she'd play it and make me dance for the other women in the room. Like, they play cards and shit, and my mom would put on L.A. Woman.
That sounds like a cult.
But it wasn't a cult. It was a bunch of crazy Cuban women playing cards and snorting blow in the 70s. And it's crazy how when I was 13, I picked up the album on my own. And I would play it. My mom's like, I thought you didn't like this shit. I go, no, I hated it because you tell me how hot Jim Morrison was.
Yeah.
When you're fucking 5, you don't want to hear about a hot guy. And my mom would say, someday I'm going to meet Jim Morrison and just eat him. In Spanish, she would say, me lo voy a comer, compadre. And I would go, what the fuck are you talking about?
Wow.
Cuban women loved Steve McQueen and Jim Morrison. They loved Rock Hudson until they found out he was gay.
Yeah.
Not in 85. They knew in the 60s Rock was gay. In the 50s, when he would go to Cuba, that's where he would go to escape, to be gay.
Because you could be gay in Cuba?
In the 50s, you were a celebrity. So I could bring Joe Fag as my assistant, get 2 rooms, but he's not there to sleep in that room. He's over in the room with me, rubbing my fucking fungi toenail and sucking my toe and sucking my balls. And you know what I'm saying? His tongue would be my bidet.
Yeah. And he's making eye contact.
Yeah,
he has to.
You know, that's how Rock Hudson, I remember when I was a kid, my mom used to always tell me that Rock Hudson was gay.
Yeah.
And I would go, fucking, how do you know that? And when I got older, like 2 years before she died, she goes, how do I know? I'm going to tell you. Whenever Rock Hudson came to town, it was a big deal. So I was a young girl. We'd all go down there and wait for him. He would stay locked up with the guy all weekend. Who would go to Cuba and not go out?
Yeah.
That's why you went to Cuba, to see the fucking dancing and the Spanish women and the fucking mulattas dancing and fucking Benny Murray singing, and you gamble. He wouldn't leave the fucking hotel room.
Yeah.
And I would look at my mom and go, you know what? You're fucking crazy. You're crazy. She dies 6 years later. He's got AIDS.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fucking lady was telling me the truth.
Yeah.
Because when they were little girls, it was like when Michael Jackson went to London and hung his kid outside the window. There was 2,000 people waiting. Same thing. It's fucking Rock Hudson. You're a Cuban girl. You're fucking 12, 13 years old. And Rock Hudson, the biggest fucking star in American películas, is coming to fucking Cuba. What's Cuba? The size of Bayonne.
Yeah.
Everybody knows if you're coming. Once you land at the airport, you know, Sinatra's in town. You knew.
Yeah.
So you went down there.
That's what happened to the Bay of Pigs. You guys figured it out.
Who the fuck knows?
Yeah.
What's up, Lee? How you feeling, dog?
I'm feeling
We
good.
went to Legal Seafood like 18 times.
You know what? I was going to
I
talk
want to thank Legal Seafoods for fucking taking good care of me. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. That was actually one of my favorite parts. Not just Legal Seafoods, Bill, the bartender. I'm not even a drinker, but my dad always used to take me to the bar. We always used to eat at this bar, sushi bar, any bar. And I miss guys like Bill. who just like have like a regular conversation. We eat at bars a lot.
Bro, he came to our table when we didn't sit at the bar. Like, he became our friend. I met some great people in Boston. The star of my world was the hotel manager, Margaret, the restaurant manager.
Yeah.
She was as beautiful as she was smart and fucking... She was 24 years old. She started there as a bus girl.
Boston accent?
Yeah, dirty girl.
Yeah.
Dirty Irish girl, but beautiful boyfriend, just set. One of those girls that you look at and she'll be married in 3 years. Mm-hmm. We just spoke about the internet. And her other business was the internet. That's what she really wanted. That's what she went to college for. She was trying to sell products on there. And we just spoke about that. But both conversations left me fucking like, wow, finally you meet somebody who's dynamite. Then the bar, Bill. From the fucking first day I got there. My name is Bill. Who fucking introduces himself anymore?
Oh, you mean he was behind the bar?
He was behind the bar.
Right.
And he came right over, gave me a menu, and put his hand out. Fucking guy's what, 6'4", 265? Hands that'll fucking crush your head. Bald, old.
Yeah.
He don't need much. All he needs is one good fucking shot to your head. And you're hearing fucking a Boston Red Sox game, and it's fucking January, and you got like at the plate is Big Puppy.
Yeah, you can put a lipstick on a pig. Absolutely.
Once I see the lipstick,
yeah, I'm done.
That's when I told the sidekick of death, and I run the fuck out of there. And then the cops come, and I tell him he tried to suck my dick. He had No, I didn't, but you got lipstick on. I mean, it's not like you only go to a fucking hot dog eating contest. You know what I'm saying?
They're gonna check your dick for lipstick. See whether or not you.
One day, I went to jiu-jitsu like 2 days in a row, and I couldn't walk.
Yeah.
And I got up that morning. I knew exactly what time it was. I dropped Mercy off. I got breakfast. I sent some emails, and at 11 o'clock, I went over there. I walk over there, and every China guy is busy. But the best one over there is the girl. She's like a weightlifter.
Yeah. Chinese weightlifter girl.
Yeah, she's strong, and she's very sweet. I really like her. The guys are cool, too. But don't go on Wednesday. She's not there on Wednesdays. And I went in there, and I've been going there, and I took my wife there when she hurt her back, and now we go together. And it's a great time. They got a TV. We watch Law & Order. Chinese people love Law & Order SVU. They love it. Black people like Red Lobster. Chinese people love Law & Order SVU. Go to any Chinese restaurant, they got SVU on, trying to figure out the crime. Well, they know it already. They wrote the script. You know what I'm saying? These New York cops, they're looking for details. They know exactly who raped a broad. Those fucking Chinese people. They're savages.
You go down to Chinatown. That's what when they're really stuck. They take that fucking...
So I go over there the one day about 2:30. This was like I was high. And I was kind of bored. And I said, let me go get a fucking massage. Go do this. I had to fly the next day, something. And I went over there. This had to be 4 months ago. And I went over there, and there was no parking in the fucking thing, and there was no parking on that street.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm fucked. So I found parking like a block away. I walked over, sure enough. Come back in 25 minutes. Or sit for 25 minutes. I go, fuck this. And I go, there gotta be another one of these that don't want to fucking suck your dick. You know what I'm saying? And I made it. I went down Lancashire, and I made a U-turn. I saw like two of them. I went to the Thai one first, and the chick was too brown for me. Like something was wrong with her. She had gotten, like, somebody left her under the fucking sun tanning boot for 3 days. Something was wrong with this chick.
Wait a minute. You won't go to a masseuse because she's too dark?
No.
Asian woman?
I said the word wrong. Something was wrong with her.
Oh, okay.
Like something was wrong with her skin.
Right.
And Greg didn't even get up when he saw the dude.
She had to be...
Right, I know.
She had to be... No, I said it wrong. I'm very sorry if I insulted anybody. She was like those people that you put under a sun tanning thing.
Yeah.
And they've been under it for 30 years.
Oh, like dried out and wrinkled.
Like orange almost.
Yeah.
It was orange. Like I never saw anybody that skin color, you know. And I went in there, and I just smelled the sperm.
Yeah.
Like I had a mild smell of sperm.
You pull out your
she
black
had a creepy
light.
look on her face.
Yeah.
And I just took a menu. I just said, look, I want to come back with my wife.
Yeah.
And I took a menu. Okay, thank you. What time you open till?
Right.
And I got in the car, and I split. And there was one 2 blocks down that I've always wanted to check out.
Uh-huh.
I've been going to that fucking ha-ha for 9 fucking years. And that spot there, I've heard 1,000 creepy stories, but I've also heard that there's chicks in there that give great fucking massages.
Yeah.
I've heard pro and con that they try to give. No, I've heard both. Well, it took me 3 minutes to know. I could smell the air of sperm.
Oh, yeah.
There were 2 chubby dudes sitting there waiting to get massages, and they had like an embarrassed look on their face.
Yeah.
Like somebody would go, Joey, is that you? These guys didn't want me to know who they were, and they didn't want to know who the fuck I was. The lady said, you have like a 30-minute wait. I said, I'll be back.
Yeah.
Ping. And that was it. My curiosity was settled.
Yeah, if this is a double door with a lock on it,
I have friends
and you're
that go to
paying
those
between
things.
like some bulletproof glass.
Yeah, I have friends that go to those things. Something's got to be. Like, I don't try. Unless you have like condom, the whole sack, and around the nuts, like the up to your stomach.
I found something out.
What?
Because you know how Red Band a while ago said the thing about saran wrap?
Yeah.
That they do that because a condom in that place is like it shows what you're going in there for.
Yeah.
So they get charged if you have condoms. That's why they have the saran wrap.
What do they charge you with?
I don't know. Probably it has to be like for them. I don't know what it does for. Yeah, it's probably just prostitution.
Yeah, listen, I don't want nothing with saran wrap. I got a wife, you know. I don't want nothing. If you're gonna put saran wrap on, there's a problem with your fucking life. You know what I'm saying? Whether they're gonna suck your dick with saran wrap, you're gonna stick it in a hole with saran wrap. Something is not psychologically correct with that.
Right.
I don't know. I see them today. I went and got gas just now.
Yeah.
I left the house at 1:45, and as I was pumping gas, there's one over there by my Gulf over there. That's my favorite gas station, across from the Mexican car wash, across from the potato tacos, Denny's, and the fucking massage parlor. That massage parlor's been there since day one. If you look at it, you're like, they've killed people in there.
Yeah.
Like they've sent the Chinese mob boss in there and they've stabbed them in there.
Yeah.
It's creepy. I've never ever seen a customer
Oh, is it? It's like on the side of the street. There's like
across
nowhere
the
to
street
park.
from Scientology.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been there, right, for 20 years. You've never seen, you have to stop there. That's the busiest light in the valley. So you always stop there. You look around at the gas station. You look at the Denny's. You look at the potato taco place. You look at the car wash. Then you look at the massage parlor and go, who the fuck would step in there?
Yeah.
It's in between like an engine rotary place and like a fucking something else.
It's like a lawyer or a travel agent or something.
Something crazy.
Insurance.
And it just says massage. What the fucking thing? Now, what is Tom Arnold looking for with this fucking show? What is he looking for?
I haven't seen it.
I just saw the commercial for it.
Yeah.
He jumps on the desk. He's looking for a P tape
Yeah.
and all the missing tapes.
Yeah, I
from
thought he was
what
looking for the
said.
N-word tape. That's what from the Apprentice.
From The Apprentice, all that shit.
What hurts him more? The N-word tape getting out or the P tape getting out?
P tape.
None.
That's
No.
also true.
You know, the other day we were talking about something. What we forget as a country is that we've hated every president the less. Since I came from Cuba, you motherfuckers been hating presidents.
Yeah.
All right? You hated Kennedy so much you shot the motherfucker. Then you impeached Nixon, whatever. I mean, I still remember the night he fucking was on TV. I was a kid, and I was crying. I really believed in America. How can I didn't understand Watergate. I didn't understand none of that shit. But we're always crying. We've never been happy. The only way we're happy is if somebody brings us, we want the president that every day we wake up and there's a check for $20 in the mailbox.
That's it.
That's the only president we want. That
Yeah.
just puts a 20 in your mailbox every day. Unless it's that, we're always going to cry or complain about something. So you're trying to figure out, listen, dog, if you put the fucking tape on in here all day, if you just clicked on a tape recorder in here for a week, the things you hear,
You
I'm
mean
gonna-
before the podcast starts?
before the podcast,
Yeah,
when
the
I'm
shit
here
we
by
talked about
myself,
before.
when me
Jesus.
and Lee sit here at night, you could make millions listening to it.
Yeah.
But anybody that listens to it knows that whatever is said isn't really coming from the heart. First of all, you're dealing 50% with a comedian. 50% of our humor comes from comedy, which comes from pain. When I found my mother on the floor and her arm was purple, and I could see that her by the shoulder, it was just like you got hit with a train purple. She had a massive heart attack. I cracked a joke to myself. So why wouldn't I crack a joke about anything else? The most sacred thing in a man's life is his mother. And I'll never forget to diffuse that shock. I crack like a fucking joke.
Yeah.
Like, I cracked a joke to myself. Like, she'll never know I got left back in the 7th grade. I knew it. Like, just stupid shit.
Yeah.
Like I said, we got a thing sent to us from Reddit, like a thing.
Oh, yeah.
And the guy said that I made a joke about a Mexican little boy crying in a cage. And then you should have seen like 15 people said, well, Joey forgets he's an immigrant. I never forgot I was an immigrant. We're comedians. What we say is the first, when you see something, Greg Fitzsimmons, that first voice, your reaction, that's the reaction the audience wants to hear. We just don't have the balls to say it.
Right.
I'll never forget 9/11. 9/11 was on a Tuesday morning, and Monday night I was at the store, and Paul Mooney was on stage, and it was the week that the black guy was going to break the home run record.
Barry Bonds
Against the white dude.
Mark McGuire.
Was it Sammy Sosa? No.
No, it was
Sosa was later.
It was Mark McGuire and the white dude going head to head. And I'll never forget that night he opened up with, they're never going to let that nigga break the record. Like, he just went off on a tangent. And he went off on it so deep that it actually went into my fucking subconscious, okay? Like, they're never going to let that nigga hit a home run. That's never going to happen, homie. They're going to do something to make sure that nigga's whatever, return. So the next morning, I wake up to my wife going, oh, my God. My wife was really, like, I had just gotten with her. She was overly emotional. And I'm waking up from a cocaine fucking hangover, and I'm seeing the first tower go down. And I'll never forget laying back down and going, Mooney was right. They're not going to let that nigga break the home run record, because it was like on a Tuesday when he was going to do it. That was the first thought that came to my head.
Yeah.
Then the second thought was, the Giants didn't cover last night.
Uh-huh.
The Giants did not cover the night before. And I go, that's comedy. That's what you wanted to hear.
Yeah, when my dad died, they had a priest come by and say a few words, but he handed out the prayer on a piece of paper to everybody, like a little missalette, because they know half the people aren't. We're Irish Catholic, but there's some of the other tribes snuck in. Some of my dad's friends that were Jewish, so they gave them all a cheat sheet, and we say the prayer, and then we're done. The priest goes, okay, if you could hand those back into the front again. And I go, he died like he lived. Cheap. And everybody started laughing. And the priest got fucking pissed. And I was like, good, you should get pissed. Collecting the fucking prayer
that's
back.
That's the reaction.
Yeah.
It's really weird that that's what comedy is. Comedy is the first thing you really say to yourself.
Yeah.
That's the comedy. And then that thought, your smooth side, whatever that part of your brain comes in and smooths out the joke, and you say you talk yourself out of doing the joke on stage that night. But that first thing that comes to your mind, that's the joke they want to hear.
Yeah.
That takes you a long time because you don't have the balls to say it. But that's the truth. He kept saying that nigga ain't gonna hit the home run. They're never gonna let him hit the home run. And as soon as that building got hit with the first plane, that's all I kept thinking about was he was fucking right. Because it was that night when he was going to do it, that Tuesday night.
Yeah. Dude, I was on stage last Thursday night, and I did this joke. I just stupid new joke. It wasn't like anything I thought much about. It's probably not a joke I would have kept, but I just threw it out there because I had a piece of paper with new bits written on it, and it was Thursday night. There was fucking 12 people there.
Where was this?
At the Improv. And so I go... and the joke was just, my nephew's complaining he can't get any pussy at college. I said, well, don't worry about it. I go, this thing called the Freshman 15. I go, you find all those girls in the spring, you're good to go. And this woman stands up, middle-aged woman, fuck you with that fat-shaming, misogynist shit. But I mean, Joey, she went 0 to 60. She didn't ramp up. The second I'd finished that joke, she was on her feet, screaming. The whole crowd turns around and looks at her like, what the fuck, is this a terrorist attack? And the bouncers come over, and I'm throwing gas on the fire because she's with her 2 daughters. I'm going, look at mommy getting thrown out of the club. I go, that's how you burn calories, getting that angry. And they drag her out screaming, and I have to finish. I got to do another 10 minutes. And the whole room is fucking awkward at this point. So I joke about I'm getting big laughs, but then I still got to eventually go back to my material. And so I come out front, and and I'm standing there talking to Owen Smith and a couple other people, and all of a sudden the woman comes out again, full head of steam again. Fuck you! You're not funny. I would never fuck you. Like, I go, what are you talking about? And so I'm standing there and I'm going back and forth with her until I realize she's not de-escalating. Like, her pitch is staying at 10, and I'm not going to stand on Melrose in front of the improv screen with this crazy lady for any longer. So I turn around, I walk away down the street to go to my car. But she's screaming at the back of my head, and I feel like a bitch. Like, I'm walking away from her, all the comics are watching. I'm not even turning around. I'm just beelining back to my car. And so, same thing. I the next day, it got tagged on some social media of mine, and she wrote this fucking letter. The daughter wrote this letter saying that I was a misogynist, what I said about her mom, and blah, 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 and blew it all up. And then, of course, all the comments are like, I would have kicked his ass, and all this shit. Like, nobody, they weren't there. They're hearing a crazy... And so, yes, it was a whole thing. It was a whole thing.
What do you think of this thing that's going on right now?
Well,
That I could come out after 36 years and say that you choked me at a party or you showed me your dick. Where are we going with this? This is what I was scared of. This is the first time that okay, so now it's not about what we did 2 years ago or that I showed you my dick in a room or nothing like that. Now it's something that happened. So for 36 years, while I was a judge, you didn't say nothing. And there's already women fucking saying no. Like, they don't even know the whole... Nobody knows the whole story. Nobody was there.
Well, I think that's the scary part, is that just because of the way things are now, is that... Not that they can't say it, but everyone immediately goes guilty, and you can't really recover from that. So, like, I don't have as much of a problem with them coming out if he did it. If they didn't do it, like, I think there should be a punishment if they didn't do it and have some repercussions for that. But if he did it, I don't have much of a problem with that. But it's scary to think about, like, someone could just say anything online, and if you get enough people behind you, no matter what the truth is, people are always gonna... Like, I just saw one comic is gonna be in Boston. It's pretty coming up, and they said... coming back after assault allegations, even though it came out that he didn't like it.
Oh, yeah,
he never did it. I was like, that's
about.
crazy.
Well, here's the problem: is that when there's a movement, there's momentum, and people get swept up into it, and that can be used for good. That can be used for bad. In this case, obviously, it's for good. You know, this movement is trying to help women see that they should be believed when they come out. That we have to not marginalize them right away. But then people get swept up in that and they suddenly go, oh, this is part of that, as opposed to let's judge each case on its own. Let's not say, oh, I'm already riled up because, you know, there's been all these cases that have been proven about men abusing women, so I'm already angry, and now let's grab this guy and put him in that same energy, as opposed to let's look at this one individual case and try to judge it by those merits.
This morning I spoke to a friend of mine, Joe Lucci. And I met Joe Lucci probably in the 8th grade. And the band, the area where he lived was the wildest area in my hometown. There's 5 or 6 grammar schools. That grammar school by far takes everybody away. Like, they were doing shit in the 8th grade that nobody was doing in the town. And everybody had to catch up over the years. Like, they were... the real deal. They had the field. They didn't just have Lincoln School, but they had the field, they had the rocks. And they were on the rocks every night, these guys, which meant they were out there drinking, smoking, fucking ghetto blasters with music. They were crazy. You could go down there at 4 a.m. and find people. Like, if we lived downtown, we go, let's cut through 64th Street Field. You'd find 8 motherfuckers tripping on acid. I mean, they were just deep. And he goes, I'm coming to the show to see you in West Palm Beach, and I'm bringing my wife. He goes, should I bring my daughters? What do you think? And I go, no. I go, unless you want them to know that I OD'd in your backyard. And me and him started howling. I went to his party. I was a junior in high school, and I went to his party like at 6 o'clock at night. His party started like at 4 in the afternoon, and I got there like at 6 with a gram of blow. I was in high school. And Quaaludes, but they were the counter Quaaludes. That's when I started eating the ones that people were making at home,
Yeah.
which the table are crooked,
Right.
which means that the thing leaks into the bottom ones, and these stay weak.
Yeah.
So I ate one of the weak ones first, and then I ate the second one. And all I remember is waking up in an alley at 4 in the morning with drool and puke all over me, and the next day hearing the stories.
Yeah.
How are high school kids allowed to be drinking? I mean, obviously, anyways, but at 4 p.m., like when I did that, we tried to hide it.
His parents owned the bar.
Oh my god!
Oh, it was at a bar.
His parents owned the bar, so they were always at the bar.
Yeah.
So he would have parties in his basement that were just legendary. But his legendary parties were before concerts. So I still remember going to his house. You ready for this, Joe Luch? August 4th of 1979. They would start at 4. You'd get there, there'd be a keg of beer, and there'd be 12 guys and 12 girls or 20 girls or whatever the fuck. And people were smoking, snorting blow, eating pills. And then at about 6:45, we'd walk to Kennedy Boulevard, take the bus into the city, and walk to Madison Square Garden. Fucked up. And go watch. We went to see AC/DC and Ted. And he said all that. He goes, that was a rough one. He goes, I remember just Angus running through the audience on top of whatever's. But then we all have the same trait. He goes, I started doing that tradition way before anybody, before a concert, like meet at my house at 3. He goes, the first party I had was Monday, December 6th, 1976. And he's my age. So he had to be fucking 13. He was 13. And he goes, I went to see Ted Nugent open up for Black Sabbath when he released Free For All tour. And he goes, guess what else happened that night? The Cleveland Browns beat the whatever in Monday Night Football. I mean, that's how good his memory was.
Yeah.
But I was just thinking about how, could you judge me from that night? Well, you can't judge somebody from what they did 30 years ago, or I'd be under the prison. Beautiful story.
Yeah.
Now, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
You're a pretty smart guy. We love each other. We really do.
I know what
really
you're going to say right now.
Why the fuck don't I want to go there? I got a call last night from Josh Wolf. Well, let's start the story straight. The other day I'm watching TV, and when we come back, we're going to show you the first new Hollywood marijuana restaurant cafe. And they flash to it. And they show a bunch of white kids online vaporing, and they show people inside, ha ha ha, and smoking a blunt, and they got high-powered fans, and right there.
And the food's all got pot in it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, but right then, I knew, like, you would never see me close to that.
Yeah.
Like, I knew at that decision. Last night, I was talking to Josh Wolf, and he goes, have you gone to it? Yeah, that's great. And he goes, you should go. And I go, Josh, how long do I know you? You do know that I would never step foot in that fucking place. You know, I've been smoking dope since I was 12. I got nothing to prove to nobody. I got to go down to a restaurant and smoke dope to show these assholes that I smoke dope.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of my face.
And that's all anyone's talking about is smoking dope every night.
But no, back to why do I feel this way? I mean, you're a smart guy. Like, I sit at home at nights. Like, I schedule myself because I know I'm at an age I can't go out 2 nights in a row at the Comedy Store. It's too much excitement for me.
Yeah.
So now Thursday, I got to take a nap. So I'd rather go to the store Tuesday and Thursday and space it out. But when I'm sitting at home Wednesday, it's 8 o'clock. My daughter's going to bed at 8:30. My wife doesn't give a Frenchman's fuck what I do. And I got 20 options. And I don't want to do any of them. It's so weird not to offend you. You know, I dearly love you. I've seen, like, pictures from the Friars Club and how they act and Billy Crystal. I would stab myself in the eye after 5 minutes in that. I don't like none of that shit.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I still remember wanting to go to Montreal so bad and saving up the money, and I talked Slayton into putting me on during the Dirty Show. And I took a flight to Detroit. And when I checked into the hotel room in Detroit because I was going to go to Montreal in the morning, I was like, who the fuck am I to go there? They didn't invite me. I'm not a part of those people. And even if I go there, I don't want to be there. Like, oh my God, you have such a great time at the bar.
Yeah.
It's the same jerkos I could see on Tuesday at the Comedy Store.
Right.
I just see them now getting drunk in their environment. I don't know what it is about me. Like, I do not want to go there.
Well, you're an outsider. That's your identity, is you did it your way. And maybe you weren't embraced by the mainstream. You weren't given those same kind of breaks that somebody else might have gotten. And I don't know why. I mean, some people could say it's maybe because people are afraid of you. You're aggressive on stage. You say shit nobody else says. It's not politically correct. Could be racist. You're not white, and
I'm not.
You're a felon. You're an outlaw.
Is it an insecurity that I have, or is it a character that I've created? For me, it feels like I've always felt this way.
I remember the night you came down, and this might have felt like that environment to you. As I do a benefit show every year for the Best Buddies. We're doing it at the Improv, and it was like, for whatever reason, I ended up booking. I usually book it because I'm at somebody's house and they got people over, and I think, oh, I got to book this fucking thing. Except for you, who I just call for anytime I do a benefit, I call you straight out of the gate. And I was there, and so it was Zach Galifianakis and it was Sarah Silverman, and I think it might have been Brian Posehn. So it was kind of like, I think it might have represented like that kind of Largo world or that alternative comedy world that maybe you never felt a part of. And I remember seeing you. You didn't come in the room. You were standing in the back. You didn't want to come until you went on. And I think you were feeling like a little bit trepidatious, And I hadn't seen you like that before. And you went on stage and you fucking ripped it apart. And you were doing the bit about the chick pissing in your face, and you just didn't give a fuck. And I'm sitting with them in the corner, and I'm curious to see what their reaction is going to be to you, Because this is not Largo. This is not, pro-feminist, with their use. And their fucking jaws were slacked. They were like, what just blew on stage? What fucking storm just settled over the microphone at the Improv now? And they fucking loved it. They were like, this is unbelievable. And I remember you walking out, and I knew that, I don't know that you saw them or how they reacted, but I think you felt really good that you just did what you do, and that whatever anxiety you were feeling before, that didn't come on stage with you. It was pure Joey Diaz on that stage.
Well, I always have anxiety.
Yeah.
Once I walk into the battle zone, the Comedy Store, the anxiety goes up 150%.
Right.
It's like when Michael, one of the greatest things about The Godfather is whoever the director was or whatever the idea he got, when Michael goes into the bathroom before he shoots Salazzo.
To get the gun, in the Bronx.
The train. That train. If I know Greg Fitzsimmons is sitting in this office and I got to put a hit on Greg Fitzsimmons, and I have to do it myself at 9 o'clock at night when he's doing a podcast with Lee, as I walk up those stairs, your adrenaline goes so high, because I've been in that situation before where I robbed somebody or robbed jewelry. Anytime I did anything that was that creepy, like robbing a house or robbing a drug dealer, you go deaf. You hear a zzz, like that's all I would hear. Like your heart is pounding so much, there's so much adrenaline going into your body that's what you hear. You kind of hear a simulation of what Michael heard on that train. The other night I went to the store. My wife made chicken cutlets for lunch. She went to church, she made chicken cutlets. When she came back, I had like 2 chicken cutlets. Like 4 or 8 chicken cutlets. She goes, what do you want for dinner? She gave me the menu for dinner. I was like, you know what? Don't worry about it. I gotta go to the store anyway. I'll stop at Joe's Pizza and get dinner. I'll just get a slice. I had 14 points left. So I get to the Comedy Store the other night. Some dear kid that I've known for 20 years was talking to me. I really couldn't hear him, even with the hearing aids on. I couldn't hear him, and to be honest with you, I didn't want to hear him. There's nothing to talk about. When I walked in, there was 2 boxes of Joe's Pizza on the piano in the main room. I didn't eat.
In the green room.
In the green room.
Yeah.
I didn't touch them.
Right.
You know, and I remember going on stage and getting it over with. And then when I came back, I could hear the kid.
Mm-hmm.
Now I could have a conversation with him.
Right.
Why are you talking to me?
Right.
I'm about to go to war.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? What? And all I could hear, he sounded like Charlie Brown. Like, and he kept talking until he finally got it that this guy doesn't want to be bothered, or he's not even hearing me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going up in the main room. I got no time for small talk.
Right.
I don't give a fuck about whatever the fuck.
Where we met.
When I go to the
I did a guest spot on your show in St. Louis 4 years ago, and you're supposed to remember. I got to jog my memory about somebody. It's like, dude, if I remembered you, it means you were memorable. If I don't remember you, let's not rehash something that wasn't that important in the first place.
That's why I hate doing 2 shows, because I want to talk to the people after the first show.
The crowd.
But if you have a second show, you really can't.
Yeah.
Because that's an hour of all of a sudden it's fucking Jeopardy.
Right.
You know, it's Where's Lee? Do you remember what you said in episode 274 of the Rogan podcast? Why did you say this on Greg Fitzsimmons' podcast? Just take the picture and shut your fucking mouth. I don't even know what the fuck I just said on stage. And you want to know, what's with the fucking questions?
Yeah, right.
Just take the fucking picture.
Right.
Here.
And then they get the camera out, and the fucking lock is on. The girlfriend's trying to open it.
Yeah,
she doesn't know the code.
Yeah, so you just wasted 8 minutes with your stupid fucking question, which I have no idea what you're saying. We're in a room with 300 people on a line waiting to take pictures. I got no fucking idea what you said.
Yeah.
Come over here. Let me put my arm around you. Let me give you a compliment. Take a picture. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Right. And then they come back and they tell you stories. I can't fucking hear you. Even with the fucking earpiece, I can't fucking hear you. There's 300 people in the fucking room. So before I go on, like, I really like the Comedy Store. After my little Netflix debacle, I made a decision I'm only going to the Comedy Store. And I have like tonight, I love my friends. But you know what? Leave me the fuck alone on Tuesday. You don't want to come to the store on a Tuesday night. It's chaos. It's chaos. It's 2 sold-out shows in the main room, 1 in the original room, and 3 sold-out shows in the belly room. That's a total of 1,200 people in that building, not to mention 100 comics lurking to suck on blood or whatever the fuck they do down there, and the staff and the waitresses. You know, you want to come down there on a fucking Tuesday night and talk? Well, I wanted to bring you a script. You know what?
Yeah,
Tuesday night's my work night.
Right.
You know what I like about Tuesday night? What I told you that night when I called you when we saw Magic that night.
You're right.
I go in that, I get 2 orders, I fucking get high, I take an edible sometimes, and I want to sit in the original room and watch the 3 comics before me. And I want to learn. And I don't want to be bothered. Guess what? Get the fuck out of here with your stupid fucking questions.
Yeah.
I'm watching Ali Wong. Get the fuck out of here. Can I watch Ali Wong? Is it okay?
Yeah.
You know, I like when I see you. You just sit next to me. We hug each other, and we both watch and laugh.
Right,
you know?
right.
There's people that come. I'll never forget one night. I'm sitting there minding my own business, and somebody bent over and whispered in my ear, "Oh, you're taking the Charlotte with you?" And I just gave him a look, like Val Kilmer gave that white guy at the diner in Heat. Remember when the guy's like,
right.
"Man, I had to go down."